waste from one industry can become the resource from other industry. And I can say that in the future they will not call it the waste, they will call it as a raw material, because I believe that all the raw material need to be circulated. Otherwise we're gonna create something new and become like the waste every day.
สวัสดีค่ะ
สวัสดีค่ะ
and welcome to Thai Pulse.
Right. This week we feature a leading recycling textile factory that turns waste into quality fabrics. Joining us is the owner of SC Grand.
Yep.
สวัสดีค่ะ
สวัสดีครับ สวัสดีครับ
Thank you very much for joining us today. So, could you please give us a brief introduction about your business?
Okay. So my name is Wat. So our company name like SC Grand Textile. We have the like holding company and all the group company join the holding company. We do about like textile recycling. So let's say our first generation they do trading textile waste because like when we saw the clothing like one T-shirt, they always have the supply chain in one T-shirt, spinning mill, weaving factory, knitting factory, and even the garment factory. So all the supply chain they have the textile waste along the way. My grandmother they doing like trading textile waste, buying and selling the waste from the weaving factory, the waste from the knitting factory, even the waste for the garment factory. And then the second generation, my grandfather and my mother, they saw the opportunity that a lot of agents they bought the waste and then export to abroad. So they opened the yarn factory, the spinning mill, to utilize the waste and then transform into the yarn. So we produce the yarn in the second generation, but second generation they do only like couple SKU. We supply the yarn raw material to the local weaving and also like traditional mop that we used to use is like 20 years ago. And then I'm the third generation. We just start to do like some brand for them, the fabric brand, Risco Fabric, and even the service to utilize the discarded garment or the old uniform to Risco into new one. So like 3 generations of the textile factory.
Right. And what inspired you to start this brand? Changing fabric scraps into new clothing or textiles?
I think I have to like give the compliment to my grandmother because my grandmother always told me that our core value we turn like unvaluable items to valuable items.
Right.
So my grandmother saw that this kind of textile waste, no one saw the value of it. So I think I have to give a lot of compliment to my grandmother. So she inspired me quite a lot, and she always said that she can be suffer or quite struggle, but if their children and their grandchildren can be like more happier, she willing to do it. So I try to do something like her to make like the next generation become like better.
Wow, such an inspiration.
Thank you to my grandmother. So I try our best. We still like, I believe that we still in the struggle time because I can say that like 5 years ago we start during like pandemic period. So it's quite hard for us as well because no one want to use like the premium product. No one want to buy something quite new to the market because the Risco fabric that make from the textile waste is quite new, go back like 5 years ago.
Right.
So I can say that we are growing. We're quite growing in terms of like sale revenue, even the volume, but we still long way to go. We still long way to go. Yeah.
Right. That's what I wanted to talk about. Textile waste, you know, is often overlooked.
Yeah.
People see waste, but you see an opportunity.
Yeah.
Why so? Where
Because
did you get the idea from?
I think because our core value is always about utilize the
Waste.
textile waste. When we start doing it, we have to survey to do research around the world, and we saw the opportunity that there's a lot of like sustainable development goals. There's a lot of regulation and standard that will happen in the future. So we try to make ourselves quite strong in order to support that opportunity that will happen in the future. So let's say I research quite a lot and travel around the world, and there's the opportunity around the world, and also we have the strength that we always familiar with the textile waste. Yeah.
So you export your products as well?
Only like 5% of our production right now, still small and long way to go because as you can see that right now we have the uncertainty situation happening around the world. But we believe that a lot of regulation they will have in the future. Let's say a lot of fast fashion brand or the brand that you saw in the department store, they have the goals. Within 2027, within 2030, they will use only like organic, sustainable and Risco product. And they have the regulation regarding like EPR, extended producer, extended product like responsibility. Correct me if I'm wrong. And they have to do like life cycle when the product start and when the product end, they need to have like all support along the way in the supply chain. So we believe that all the regulation regarding EPR and also DPP, like digital product passport, it will accelerate what SCGrant trying to do.
And our fashion industry is actually one of the top one of the 5 industry in the world which are now polluting the environment. So from your experience, from your point of view, how serious is textile scraps problem today?
Let's say like there's 92 million ton of the textile waste per year. You can Google about it. And also the article mentioned about like 10 to 15% of what the water pollution come from the textile industry.
Right.
And if you go to like Gates Notes, the article about Bill Gates, he mentioned that the climate change might be worse like 5 times than the COVID. They write the article go back like 6 years ago. And Bill Gates also wrote the book named How to Avoid Climate Disaster. And the article talk about like 51 million tons of the CO2 has been releasing per year, and if you go Google or ChatGPT or even Gemini, they might say that 7 to 10% of the CO2 come from textile or fashion industry. So I think what we are wearing today has significant
impact
to the environment or the climate change.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you see fast fashion as a problem?
I saw it as the opportunity. I see it as the opportunity because in the past, all the activity that we are doing or we are producing is release CO2, right? But in the future, all the product or all the business, they need to have like concern beside profit to make it sustain. It need to have the positive impact as well to the planet. So I saw it as an opportunity, and I saw the news, and I talked to the experienced people around the world. So we saw that in the future about all the fashion industry, they will not say like they are sustainable, but fashion will become like normal for the sustainable perspective.
Right, right. And what types of materials usually become scraps during the textile or clothing production?
Mostly in the supply chain, they always have like scrap or the waste during the production in supply chain. But let I make it like quite simple. The clothes that we are wearing right now, you are wearing and I'm wearing, it's not like it's not the regular square. So the clothes is not regular square. We do not wear something quite shape, something not something like that. So that is the waste, because when you do the garment, do the new clothing, you have to make it shape that suitable for you guys, or even you buy t-shirt or buy jeans, it's not like regular square. So there is the waste along the supply chain around like 10 to 15%. That called like pre-consumer waste. But the waste that discarded or you not use it anymore, they call like post-consumer waste. So there is the waste along the supply chain from the beginning into the end.
Right. So just to make it simple, your job is to pick up those waste, mix them together, chemically transform them into quality fabric.
Yeah, you can say that. You can say SCGrant or Circular act as the recycle partner. If you think about e-waste, you may think about communication service. If you think about food waste, you may think about huge food company. But if you have like textile waste, even like PET bottle, SCGrant or Circular can transform into new clothing or new fabric according to the customer requirement.
Right.
How can fabric scraps impact the environment if they're not reused?
Okay, let's talk about like the fabric that in front of us right now. Even I'm wearing is from our fabric as well. But the example of what I show you guys today is just it's like undyed fabric. The color that you see right now, sure. The color that you see right now, let's say like the blue t-shirt, you might see that they have the color quite not equal. Sometimes this one might coming red, but this area might coming blue, because we use like textile waste. We cannot control the Pantone when we bought the waste from the garment factory.
Right.
So it's called like undyed fabric. So if regarding the question, when we use the waste and then recycle, transform into new one, we use the color that retain on the waste, and then you do not need to go to the dyeing factory.
Right.
So if you don't do the dyeing factory, you don't go to the dyeing factory, you don't need to use the water for the dyeing process. And if you cut some process, you decrease like some CO2. Right. And when you mix the scrap or cutting waste in the raw material, you don't need to import like some virgin fiber. So you do not need to use like fertilizer or pesticide to grow the cotton. So you has decreased or reduced like some environmental impact.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, from clothing point of view, specific textiles have their own specific form, right?
Yeah.
But the recycled fabrics,
Yeah.
can we design them in a form that we would like to wear?
Oh yeah, sure. Because I think the recycled fabric is quite simple. It's like when you buy like vegetable or the pork or the beef to do the cooking in some supermarket, it's very similar.
Like
If you-
customization.
Yeah, when you buy
right?
the fabric from us, you can do the t-shirt, you can do the jean, you can do the shirt, you can do the pants, you can do the shoe, you can do the cap. So one of my clients, they like global logistic company, they give us the discarded garment or the old uniform because they have to change the uniform every year. So they give us the old uniform and then we recycle into new cap to them. And let's say like some ally, domestic ally, they have the old uniform as well, and then we also recycle into new polo or new jacket to them.
Right.
Also, like some domestic ally in Thailand, we also collect the PET bottle every week and then recycle into new fiber, mix with the discarded garment from the ally as well, and then turn into like new apron or new polo to them as well. So we mostly like take the waste from the customer and then recycle, customize as the customer requirement. When it's become the suitable fiber, become the yarn, and then become the fabric, the customer can bring it to make it more fashionable, quite luxury, even in the street. Yeah, because the raw material is quite similar, but what we quite different, we just take the waste from the customer, we take the waste that is out there and then turn into new one. So decrease using some virgin fiber, reduce like negative impact to the environment.
Okay. Thank you for sharing your perspective.
Yeah.
But for now, we're gonna take a quick break, and when we return, we'll explore on how textile waste can transform into sustainable products. Stay tuned.
What if your next holiday didn't just recharge you, but rebuilt you? Welcome to Thailand 2026. We are no longer just a destination. We are your training ground. The government has officially unlocked the country for athletes. With the Destination Thailand Visa, or DTV, you now have a 5-year pass to live and train here. That's 180 days per stay. No interruptions, just focus. Whether it's marathons in the city or Muay Thai camps on the islands, the infrastructure is world-class. And mark your calendars for June. The amazing Muay Thai World Festival is bringing the entire globe to Bangkok. Thailand is calling. Don't just visit. Come to compete. Come to evolve. "2026, a new chapter for Thailand that the world is watching." This year, Thailand steps up as a true global main stage, hosting everything from elite financial summits to the world's major music festivals. Ready to welcome everyone as the hub of ASEAN with comprehensive infrastructure, connecting every journey with ease and convenience, elevating your experience with attentive service in every detail and low-carbon event standards for genuine, sustainable success. Be part of this new history right here. Thailand MICE 2026, the global stage of celebration.
ASEAN's digital economy could reach $1 trillion by 2030 and up to $2 trillion if the Digital Economy Framework Agreement or DEFA is finalized. The deal will make cross-border digital transactions easier, faster, and more secure. For years, ASEAN's digital growth has been held back by different regulations, limited data flows, and barriers facing small businesses. But DEFA is designed to change that. DEFA will link Southeast Asia's digital systems, enable seamless payments, and ease cross-border business expansion. Negotiations are over halfway done. If successful, DEFA will not just transform ASEAN's economy, it could redefine the region's place in the global digital order.
Welcome back to Thai Pulse. Now we're here with Khun Wat, Managing Director of Circular by SC Grant. We're going to continue our conversation with him. And for this second break, we're going to take you on a journey of a fabric scrap. So, Khun Wat, can you please give us the process from waste to finished product? How is it?
Okay, so imagine about like discarded garment or the old uniform that all the corporate might share the uniform every year, and then some might dump it to landfill. Some like stuff might dump it to landfill. So we take the old clothes and then transform into fiber.
Right.
So if you think about like the cotton is in terms of the fiber shape. So we take the old clothes, discarded garment, cutting waste, the textile waste, turn into like suitable fiber. I think that's our quite recipe from the experience from my grandmother, because they always utilize about the waste. So after the fiber, we transform into the yarn, spin into the yarn, and then weaving and knitting as the normal textile factory. And then after knitting and weaving into fabric, also like do the garment, t-shirt, shirt, pants, polo, something like that. Right. So I think our recipe is always about the fiber. We know how to adapt the machine and make it into like suitable fiber to spin the mill, to spin into the yarn. Yeah, that's one.
I see there like there are small dots. Here, it's like small beads.
Yeah, understood.
That is from the fact that you recycle the fabrics, right?
Yeah, and also the reason that it appears something like that, we call like charming of the textile waste, because we mix like raw material that come from a lot of garment factory, so we cannot control the Pantone of the color. So each fabric might have like significant uniqueness and charming different color of it.
What I feel here is the softness. So the recycled fabrics is always soft like this?
Soft or not soft, it depends on the component or the composition that you have mixed, and also you can, some fabric we can weaving or knitting in term that make it soft. So after it's become the fiber, you can do anything with them. You can spin into yarn. You can make into like any structure of it. Because let's say that this T-shirt. So this T-shirt might similar to the raw material to produce another shirt. This T-shirt might the same raw material to produce the shoe. So if it after become the fiber, become the yarn, it can do weaving and knitting into different kind of structure.
So the clients can actually select the fabrics, what kind of fabrics they would like to be in their clothes.
Most of our clients, we always like ask the input and the output. Let's say the uniform of the airline that our regular customer, each airline they might have like some different texture of the uniform. So we ask the input, can we see the waste, and also we ask the output, what kind of product that they want to recycling and then become. So after we get that, we do some recycling process to them.
Right. Are there like technical challenges when designing the recycled materials?
I think the challenge is going to be like, each customer, each corporate, or each the fashion brand, they have different texture or different structure of the fabric, and or we can say different texture of the textile waste, different structure of the textile waste. So we have to adapt the machine that's suitable to different kind of waste. That's quite challenging for us. But thank you to our grandmother that they have the legacy of it, so they know how to adapt the machine. We have we have our own technique to adapt the machine that's suitable for each of textile waste. So we like in the past we do couple SKU for the product, but right now we like make to order factory that customer can order anything and then we provide to them. Because if we want to compete with other country that they have like cheaper labor cost, cheaper electricity, we might have to do something different and utilize the strength in our factory or in Thailand.
And by recycling fabric waste, can it actually help to reduce water use, energy consumption, and carbon emission?
Yeah, for sure, because each T-shirt has released around like, let's say like 3 to 4 kg of the CO2. But if you mix textile waste in terms of like 30%, you might decrease CO2 around like 1 kg per one t-shirt. And also like one t-shirt, they have to use the water for growing cotton, use the water for dyeing the fabric. If you use our fabric, no need to dye the fabric, so reduce some water usage. Yeah, so I can say that we support to reduce the negative impact to the environment. So we're part of it. We also do like LCA. It comes from like large scale assessment. We do it with some Canadian company. They have the branches in Netherlands as well. So they do the large scale for us. We have to send the report, all the electricity bills, all the machine that we are doing. So and compare with like the ordinary fabric that we help to reduce how much impact that we have create. Yeah.
As a very experienced person in textile and fashion industry, there is a concept in nowadays. It's called circular fashion. It's written here.
Yeah.
Do you think this concept is important approach for the future of fashion?
I learned it from the experienced people in other country, or they are the head supply chain of some like global sport brand. I learned it from her. She mentioned that her brand utilize like 20% of the waste in Europe. Let's say that her brand is like ABC brand. It's like coming up some ABC brand, and then 20% of the waste of the ABC brand has circulated in Europe. So we have, I talked to her, and then I talked to experienced guy. They have foreseen that in the future, all the region need to like circulate the waste in those regions, because waste from one industry can become the resource from other industry. And I can say that all in the future they will not call it the waste, they will call it as a raw material, because I believe that all the raw material need to be circulated. Otherwise we're gonna create something new and become like the waste every day. So SC Grant or Circular, we can be like one of the solution or one of the supporter for the issue that we're gonna face together in the future. Yeah, and I'm quite happy that we quite inspire a lot for the textile and fashion industry, that we can be part of the future of it.
And from your own point of view, how can fashion brands work with recycled partners to help reduce waste?
All the fashion brand, if they like have the supply chain in Thailand or Southeast Asia, and they have the waste along the supply chain, normally they might not concern them quite a lot. But right now you have the recycle partner as a SC Grant Circle in Thailand. You can send us the waste and we can turn it to new fabric to you. So you might have like 5 to 10% of the sustainable collection that partner with the SC Grant. Even some small brand or local brand, they even can buy like stock fabric from us to try to play around with the recycle fabric. And yeah, garment factory, fashion brand, even the corporate, if you have the textile waste, we can be recycle partner to turn the waste into new fabric according to the customer requirement. That's what we always act as a supply chain partner.
That's great.
So you produce yarns and also finished products, finished clothes like this. So what are your products? What else are your main products?
Okay. So right now, SC Grant is like ingredient brand. SC Grant is like sustainable fabric brand or recycled fabric brand. And then Circular is like sustainable fashion brand, but we have the service called Circular Solution to take the discarded garment or old uniform and transform into a new one. But this is just the started. In the future, what we plan, we try to become like recycle hub in Southeast Asia. We are aware that there's a lot of textile waste in Southeast Asia, like in other countries around us that has the border near us. And let's say that in the Southeast Asia, we produce like 100 t-shirts, but 80 t-shirts we export to abroad, and 20% of it used only like in Southeast Asia. And along the way, they have the waste along the supply chain, and the regulation that happen in the future, they will utilize all the waste. So I believe that in Thailand, we can become the recycle hub to take the waste and then transform it into new one. Yeah, that is the opportunity for the textile and fashion industry in Thailand.
And I have a personal question. I mean, helping the environment is great, reusing, recycling, but how durable is it compared to the regular fabric?
It's quite normal. It's quite like, we can say that our quality can be the standard, because when you do for the fashion brand, you have to send into like textile company or textile institution for them to do the report that your fabric have the quality enough to pass that standard. Likewise, if you do with some corporate, you have to sign contract like TOR, that's your sample, and when you handle the big order, you have the same quality. So I can say that our fabric or our raw material, we have the standard quality, but
Right.
it might not be like that luxury, but we can become the standard. Yeah.
Does it need to be hand washed or machine washed is fine as well?
Can do both.
Can do both,
But we
alright.
normally recommend the hand wash to take care more about the fabric, but it can do both.
So when you wash it, you can
Yeah.
actually wash it together with other.
It's quite like normal clothes.
normal clothes.
Because after it become the fiber and the yarn, weaving or knitting in any fabric is like similar to other fabric, similar to all kind of the fabric.
But I mean, wouldn't it be great though if we see sustainable fashion such as this in the higher level fashion industry?
Yeah.
Because nowadays, even the haute couture brands,
Yeah.
they do street style as well, more affordable brand names,
Understood,
collections. So would you say that in the future, there might be some high-end brands that use recycled fabrics?
In the next like 3 to 5 years or in the future, all the brand will use organic, sustainable or recycled as a normal raw material or normal fabric.
Right.
We not the only choice. We just like part of the choice. There is like million of technology out there. There is a lot of technology out there. We just one of the technology that available in terms of mechanical recycling. So in the future, you will see a lot of technology. You will see a lot of fabric they will use as a normal.
Right. So you think the style and sustainability can coexist?
For sure. But any technology that can become like commercial scale, it have to reach like some economic scale. Let's say like fabric from the PET bottle might exist for around like 20 years, but right now the price might expensive more than the virgin polyester. So if you want something quite affordable, quite cheap, you might have to rely on economy of scale or commercial scale. So all the tech have all the big brand support. So in the future, you will saw a lot of tech, and this kind of fabric will become quite normal for every brand.
How do you see the sustainable fashion heading into, let's say, in another 10 years from now?
I think in terms of technology, there is like chemical recycling and there is like mechanical recycling. But under chemical recycling and mechanical recycling, there is a lot. Let's say the mechanical recycling, they might use heat, they might use wind, they might use some machine inside the machine part. But for the chemical, if you put like some fabric, it's returned into white raw material. So I can say that in the future there might be a lot of material to play around. I think that in the future, the customer will not even be aware that this is sustainable, organic, or recycled, but it's already been inside the raw material or inside the fabric. Yeah. Now it's a starting period. And in the next 5 years, all the regulation, all the promise, all the goals that the big brand has been promising, you will see a lot of new fabric playing around.
Yeah. Well, I mean, fashion is one of the industry that pollutes the most. So there are plenty of fabrics to be recycled, I'm sure.
Yeah, there's a lot. But in the future, there will be a lot of sustainable fabric, sustainable clothing in every layer of the brand, in every layer of the industry.
So you think we're heading in a good way?
We have to. We have to because
no choice.
We are facing the same challenge regarding climate change. Because if something happens, it's affect in every industry. That's the reason that they set the regular goals together in terms of SDG goals. Or nowadays they talk about like climate change is one of the topic that a lot of big guys around the world saw it as an opportunity to adapt their business into this kind of trend. Yeah.
All right, Khun Wat, thank you very much for sharing us your experience, your incredible and sustainable journey as well.
Thank you for having me as well.
ขอบคุณมากค่ะ
ขอบคุณมากครับ
All right, and that's all for Thai Pulse this week. We'll see you again next weekend. สวัสดีค่ะ
สวัสดีค่ะ